solve business problems, helping him build his business idea as well. And also later on, once I had worked in a startup, I had this small inclination towards, manager roles. I really wanted to test out my skills over there because just working in his company made me feel like, okay, I had really good communication and persuasion skills and even leadership skills. So I joined my student committee to test it out more. So I became president in my fourth year, which was around 2023. I was also one of the founding members for my student committee. So once college got done, I really kind of affirmed to myself that my interest was towards the manager roles and I really wanted to do an MBA. And I realized that's where my interest also lied in. So I joined Pick Your Trail. It was a very deliberate choice to join Pick Your Trail because it was a non-tech market facing role. So I had joined as a travel consultant over there. So I also wanted to try out sales because I wanted to know if I would survive in a very high pressure environment like sales. And also it was something that was very interesting to me, talking to people generally about travel was something that fascinated me as well. So over there, I had worked over there for 14 months, and about 12 months I would have definitely overdone my numbers every month.
Okay, Evans.
Sure.
Should startups,
Mm.
I mean, are startups solving problems or are they just monetizing inefficiencies, specifically with the case of India?
Okay, sure. Startups in India, I believe, are definitely solving problems. Let's take an example of Zomato and Swiggy. They are major players in the food delivery business, and I believe they're also the first one to do it in a much efficient way compared to even the US, who are big
Which
players like Food
problem are
Panda.
they solving?
Uh, Quick delivery of food
Is it
to
a problem
customers.
or is food
They are making
scarcity
it
and
more convenient
malnourishment a
for the
problem in
customers
India?
because before that, people had, I think, they had call records of like numbers and they have to contact Just Dial to get their numbers and they have to go either take away from the restaurant directly. So what Swiggy and solved was directly delivering it to their doorstep at a minimal cost, right? So in these aspects, Indian startups are definitely doing it on a very good way. But I think what Indian startups need more are in part with technology and innovation. I think that is something where the Indian startups are definitely lacking on. I mean, specifically in technology and innovation, you don't hear a lot of companies other than Swiggy and Zomato coming up. So I think that is one aspect that Indian startups definitely need to work on.
Okay, what is CAC and
Uh,
why is it usually high in the edtech sector?
oh, I'm sorry. Why is it
C
very CS,
CAC. C
CAC?
for cat, A for Ahmedabad, C for cat, CAC.
Okay, can I get the abbreviation, please?
No, you need to know it.
Okay, I am not able to recall on that. I'm sorry.
Now, if you're so aware about the startup culture, you should know what CAC is.
Yeah, I understand, but right now I'm not able to recall on that.
Okay, what is LTV?
I think LTV translates to lifetime transaction value. So LTV is basically how much revenue a customer generates over a product's entire lifetime.
And why is it high?
Uh, hmm,
Okay, how do EMI based payment models affect default risk?
how do EMI payment models? I'm sorry.
Affect default risk.
I'm sorry, I don't think I'm aware of that.
Is edtech B2C or B2B?
EdTech is B2C.
Okay. So we all know about Baiju's failure. Is it a
Yeah.
governance issue or a business model issue?
I think it's definitely a government governance issue because I personally believe that Byju's held a really good business model. So I think the collapse of Byju started with the internal workings. So I did have few people and I who I personally knew working in Byju's. So what I saw and as per what I read from articles, so there were a
Hmm.
lot of internal issues that are going on. There
Okay.
were a lot of internal
Okay, Van.
miscommunications that are going on.
What ESG risks exist in the edtech industry?
Um, I'm sorry.
What
Please,
ESG risks exist in the edtech industry?
I am sorry, I'm not aware of that.
Okay, how should VC funds integrate ESG screening?
I am not aware of ESG.
Okay. Do you think EdTech can align with India's demographic dividend?
Um, it will, but
How?
right now I think it's definitely a question. Probably in the next 20 years or 30 years, once when 5G has deeply penetrated to tier 2 and tier 3 cities, it definitely will. Right now, if you look at the edtech space, it's mostly concentrated towards the tier A cities. And right now it's starting to little bit
Okay.
penetrate toward the tier 2 cities. But over the next 20 to 30 years, I think edtech will be a huge space for Indian startup markets.
Name three sales funnels.
Uh, Name three sales.
Sales funnels.
Uh, I am not able to recall on that.
Okay. What is marketing matrix?
Marketing metrics is basically the metrics that we use to calculate on the performance of our product. It can be through the number of users that we're
Name three
intaking.
matrices.
What?
Name three matrix.
Uh, I remember IDA model as of now. I remember
Is it
reading
a
on the others.
matrix or is it a model? There's a difference.
IDA metrics is a funnel that they
It's not
use
a
to.
matrix.
Yeah,
BCG
it's
matrix is a matrix. What is BCG matrix?
So BGC metrics is, I think the abbreviation is Boston Consulting Group Growth Metrics. So it it is basically used by companies to look at its products if they should sell or if they should
No, no,
disinvest in it or if they
no,
should
no,
invest
no.
more in the
No.
product
What is
itself.
push and pull marketing?
Push and pull marketing is basically push is basically when the company reaches out to its customers and forces them or communicates them to buy the products. Pull is basically when the customers themselves comes to the products. It's a much more of an organic way than push, and push also I believe has a higher uh, cash
Okay.
inflow
Three,
to convert.
okay, three takeaways from this year's budget.
From which budget? I'm sorry.
This year's budget.
Okay. Can I get like 20 seconds to just think on it?
10 seconds.
Okay. Okay, sure. I think I'm ready. So
Mhm.
one big takeaway is definitely they've increased the defense budget to I think to about another 7.5% from last year. That is one huge takeaway that you have to note.
How much
This
percent? Wait.
uh,
How much percent increase?
7.5 or 7.7% from last
Wrong.
year. I'm sorry.
It is wrong, is what
I
I'm
think
saying.
I
It
think
is
it's
increased
close
by
to.
15% approximately to 7.8 lakh crores.
Okay. I think I must understood it then. So yeah, I think the second big takeaway is definitely India's push to bring manufacturing back to our country. I think they're doing it by ISM 2.0, which is basically Indian Semiconductor
Evans,
2.0.
you just
Yeah.
said manufacturing back
Back,
to
huh?
our country.
Yeah.
So was there manufacturing already present that has gone to other countries, or we need to bring manufacturing into our country?
Bringing manufacture into our country. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I misplaced my words in that.
Yes.
But yeah, so moving on, our country, I think two big pushes for manufacturing they bring is definitely ISM 2.0, where they're concentrating on, production of, I mean, not production, digging of rare earth minerals. And they're also building 7 corridors specifically for it. I believe few of the states are Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Kerala, and Madhya Pradesh. And also, they are pushing
Third point.
for.
Third point.
Yeah. So the third point is again they are also introduced something called as biopharmaceutical Shakti. Shakti basically means a strategy, health advancement through technology and innovation and knowledge. So what this basically means is like they are targeting on basically on
Speak.
non
Okay, Vance, got it. Who's the second lady of US?
JD ones. Okay.
GD Vance is the second
Yeah,
lady.
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to remember his wife's name.
Okay, no worries. Who's the PM of
Oh
Denmark?
wait, it's Usha ones. Yes,
Mrs. Usha Vance.
Mrs.
Okay.
Usha ones. I'm
Who's the
sorry.
PM of Denmark?
PM of Denmark.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall.
How many countries are there in this on this planet?
One, if I'm not sure, but I believe it's around 163 or close to or 193.
Wait, do you know what is India's ranking on hunger index? Sorry, Hunger Index, if you like to.
I'm not sure on the number, but I know it's more than 100.
It is more than 160.
Oh, okay.
ठीक है. What is the capital of Thailand?
Bangkok.
Who's the Prime Minister of Japan?
Uh, it's uh, it's Mrs. I'm not able to pronounce her name. It's Shinoku.
So
I'm
at least you know it's a lady. Okay, over to you, sir, then, ma'am.
What is one experience on your CV that best defines you?
Okay. I think it's definitely my student committee role as the president in my college. So my specific reason for pushing that was I think it defined me as a the type of a leader I want to become in the future. I think when I became the president, one thing that I really concentrated on was to build accountability within my team. And I was a person who gave utmost freedom even in executive decisions, but I ensured that they gave accountability. And the second part that I really concentrated on them was that I made sure everyone felt inclusive, and I made sure no one was sidelined and everyone had the freedom to speak up, to even give critical feedback back to the president itself. And third one was, I'm sorry.
Continue.
Okay. And a huge third point to me over there was I really learned, mm, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think these two are the major points that I covered.
As you mentioned that you were giving freedom to all your subordinates,
Yeah.
but then with freedom comes conflicts. How did you handle conflict? Give me an example.
Conflicts definitely happen. So, for example, I mean, if an event we conducted did not go good, it was definitely a huge debate among us. But what I used to do was I definitely used to plan critical feedback meetings. We used to sit down, even though voices are thrown against, we knew at the end result that we need to sort things out so that in the next event, this does not happen. Even if differences arise, even between the juniors and the seniors, I ensured it was much respectable. And I also ensured that none of the seniors backtaunted juniors as well.
What did this leadership role teach you that academics was not able to do for you?
I think it was definitely okay. Something that comes to my mind, I think it was definitely aligning people all under the same idea. I think this is something academics can never teach me, because once when I started my tenure, what I noticed was all the departments were spread apart with their own goals and with their own achievements they wanted to. I really wanted to change that. I wanted to bring all the department under the same idea, and that is something that I concentrated for the first 2 months I became president, and I did achieve that. I think this is something that academics can never teach me.
Okay, so as I see that you are constantly among the top performer and a very good leader, but if your team is underperforming, how would you handle the situation when you're so open-minded about giving the subordinates chances, flexibility, freedom?
I think working in Picketel itself, I noticed I had a very amazing manager. So even when we had a down month, there was, even though he used to get pressure, the pressure was never passed on to us. He was a constant motivator. It's also something that I do. I constantly motivate people, even when my numbers are down. I motivate others. And what happens is once the month ends, and if our numbers are not completed, we all used to sit down. We get critical feedbacks from each other. We also give back critical feed, and we'll see what different, or if we can use any different strategy this month to change up our numbers or build on it.
What do you think matters more in sales, process or persuasion?
Process definitely matters over here, because persuasion is just a small part of it. I believe if the process is done right, as in communicating to the client, to all the expectations, or giving them a good budget, I believe persuasion is not needed in that particular area. I think once I give him a good itinerary with a good budget, which is very valuable and reasonable to him, I think persuasion is not even needed.
Okay. Last question from my side. What do you think about leadership being an authority or an influence?
I think I don't think they are competitive stances. I think it completely based on situation. I think there are some situations when a leader needs to be authoritative, when the entire, like for example, in my entire tenure had to be authoritative once when the entire team could not take a decision. So I really had to step in. I had to make the final call. So I think in those situations, authoritative is necessary. And maybe even in crisis situations when everything falls on the leader, I think they need to be authoritative at that time. But every other situation, if there is a long-term plan that's needed, let's say with strategy or an event that's coming up, a flagship event worth 30 lakhs coming up in the next 3 months, I think influence needs to be over there. I think every single person needs to be considered, every single ideas should be considered before taking a call on it.
Okay. Angad, so over to you.
Okay. How is AI changing consumer behavior?
Um, okay. Okay. I believe okay, I think I'll start with my personal experience. So whenever I have two options confused, the first thing I do is I go to ChatGPT. I ask ChatGPT what the profits are, I mean what the benefits are and what the disadvantages are. So I think even if companies target on marketing to their ideal customers, I think when customers are confused, rather than, I mean, before ChatGPT, we used to ask around people. I mean, every people have their own opinions, but ChatGPT is supposed to be a very neutral platform. So I believe ChatGPT will give out the product's exact benefits and its disadvantages. I think that's one way AI is changing consumer behavior.
Okay. So do you think rapid scaling damages the brand?
I'm sorry, I did not get the question.
Do you think rapid scaling of the brand damages the brand image?
Not necessarily. I think it completely
Give me
depends.
examples where it has not damaged the brand.
Mm, Geo Financial Services, I mean, not Geo Financial Services, Geo Platform Services. When Geo came into our country, even though at the time in 2015 they did not give a very good network, but they did give 4G and they had rapidly expanded in the next 1 to 2 years. And
Give
they're
me
all
another example.
any other example. Okay.
Yeah.
I think definitely Oyo was also a target for rapid expansion. I think, okay, I have a better example. Pick Your Trail. Pick Your Trail in 5 years rapidly expanded from zero customers to 10,000 customers. Right now, we are in our 12th year and we are making about 400 crores revenue overall. I think this is also one good example of rapid
Okay.
expansion.
Is churn inevitable in early stages of the company?
Churn.
Churn rate, as you would call it.
Okay, I believe, I think yes, but again, I think it depends upon the situation. If I bring in a product and if my company is completely based on a product, obviously I'm going to spend a huge lot of money marketing it, and the sales are definitely going to be down. So I think over the time, yes, the churn rate will reduce, and once
No,
the
no, no.
sales goes
You
up.
didn't get the question. I'm asking, is churn rate inevitable in early stages of the company? Does every company have to go
No,
through that
no, no,
cycle,
no.
or
No,
do
I
some
don't. I
companies
personally don't think so.
give me examples
Mm,
where this any companies avoided churn rate? High churn rate is what I mean.
high churn rate. Okay. I am not able to recall a company's name.
Okay. We move on to the next question. How does marketing differ in VC funded companies?
I think one huge difference is I think from a startup to which does not have funding, a company that's just starting, and to a VC-based company. I'm not very sure on it, but I believe it's that one is definitely going to be the budget because once VC-funded companies are there, they will get crores and crores of marketing in, and I mean crores and crores of funding in. So I think the budget for marketing will definitely be on a much grander scale. And two, what I believe the difference is because a startup is just beginning, I don't think they'll have a very strong structured marketing strategy compared to what a VC funded startup is. Because a VC funded startup will not only just come with the funding, but it'll also come with advisors and the VC himself.
And third point,
Uh, okay. I'm just able to catch up on 2 points right now at the
okay,
top of my head.
is freemium a market strategy or a pricing strategy? I'll
What?
repeat. Is freemium a market strategy or a pricing strategy?
Freemium.
Yeah. Do you know what is freemium?
I think I've heard of the company, but I'm not very sure.
It's not a okay. It's not a company.
Oh, okay.
How does inflation change
Hmm.
marketing strategies?
Okay. What does inflation change marketing strategies? Okay. I think a good example would be if the inflation goes high and let's say there is a new product coming into the market, probably they could alter the product a little bit and they could make the product a bit cheaper in order to, counter
Wait,
the
so you are
high.
saying, wait, Evans. You are
Hmm.
saying just because inflation is higher, you are going to alter the product altogether.
Probably yes. I mean, if the product is not completely deep into the production zone.
Wrong. Completely wrong. You cannot alter the core product that is there just because inflation is higher for that particular quarter, or let's suppose for that particular year. You would you would reduce non-essential costs like
Hmm.
spending too much on marketing and advertisement, PR, or branding deals. That is a better
Okay.
approach, right? Let's suppose
Okay.
you're selling a not let's not go to a luxury product, even a normal single FMCG product.
Okay.
Still, would you like to degrade the quality of it because or
No,
change the features? No,
yeah,
let's not
that
just
makes
talk about
sense.
you would
Yeah.
not like even like to change the features, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so we have seen China grow from 1980s, 1990s more
Mm.
to early to 2020s as a giant. Now it has become a giant, second largest economy in the world. But there has
Yes.
recently been a slowdown in its consumption.
Yeah.
So do you think India will follow the same fate? And
Uh,
where is India right now currently?
So one reason for a huge economic slowdown in China was because I think from I believe 2015, every country started realizing that they were very dependent on China's manufacturing. So countries started investing on their own and they started expanding their network for manufacturing. And once that happened, even though China's export rates are increasing, countries have started diversifying their portfolios. And one main reason that we have noted over here is I believe I did this last year. China's domestic consumption is very low. I think right now India is concentrating on that particular part. I think it happened when US tariffs came about, where the government started concentrating on domestic consumption. I believe the domestic consumption also increased as their
Let's
report
move on to the
came.
second part of the question. Where does India stand in all of this currently?
Okay. So if the government follows what they're actually doing right now, that is concentrating on their domestic consumption, I don't think they will fall about where China exactly is right now. I think the government is doing the right thing right now by providing more on domestic consumption for their, yeah, for the goods and services.
Recently, India and EU have signed a FTA, free trade agreement.
Yeah.
Do you think it will be beneficial for
Uh,
India?
I think just 50% of the work is done right now. I think the next 50% completely depends upon how the merchants and the traders make use of this particular agreement and they execute it. And I think we can only identify this in the long run. But if you're asking me just from the details alone, is it beneficial? Definitely yes.
So, let's suppose I was supposed to buy a Mercedes E-Class. Will it be cheaper? How much percent tariff has been reduced on EU cars, basically, not specifically German cars?
Okay. It's coming down to 30% right now. And over the next 10 years, I
Are you
believe
sure
diesel.
30%?
I believe it's approximate 30%, but over the next 10 years, I believe they're coming it down to 10% if I'm right. Oh, I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
believe it's 10%. And then for EV cars, I think in the next 10 years, they'll pull it down to 10%.
wrong. Let's come
Oh,
back to the question. Your
okay.
percentages are wrong. Let's come back to
Okay.
the question. I was supposed to, let's say I'm to buy a Mercedes E-Class right now. Will it
Okay.
become cheaper for me to buy or not?
Okay. I think there are two things we have to take care of over here. So I believe Mercedes E-Class is assembled over here in India. I'm not very sure, but I believe they're
But
assembled
thank
over.
you. But this is what I wanted to know. We'll move on to the next question. I
Okay.
just wanted to know whether you knew the details also.
Okay.
This shows that you know the details. Please read about the percentages that are being reduced.
I
Those were
remember reading
completely
that.
wrong. Yes,
Okay,
those
I
were
remember reading,
completely
but
wrong.
I'm not able to recall it right now.
Okay, so do you think marketers should be trained in ethics also?
Definitely, definitely.
Why?
I strongly believe because even I think last year, I think it was the year before that, we had a case in the US where Facebook was targeting underage kids. I think they're specifically showing women about rape newses and also human trafficking. So I think marketers should definitely concentrate on that particular issue. I think it also comes down to corporate responsibility.
Okay. When do you think segmentation becomes stereotyping?
Hmm. When does segmentation become stereotyping? I think probably when you target a very high net worth individual customers, but again, I don't think that will come under stereotyping. I believe
No, that
uh,
will not come into stereotyping. Yeah.
I
I'll give
don't
an
think.
example. If you take the
Sure.
case of United States, if it's a black neighborhood, KFC would want to open more branches because black people generally have more
Yeah,
fried chicken
it's
because
the
it's cheaper.
traditional foods, yes.
Yeah. Watermelon, they're famous for eating more watermelon and fried chicken.
But
So,
again, that won't become stereotyping, right? That's basically targeting the market, right? Just
but
one
that is
thing
considered,
here.
if you tell this to any black individual, they would like literally hit you because that is
Yeah.
stereotyping, right? So,
Okay.
how can a company, target the audience, capture the market also, and avoid these stereotypes?
I think I'm not very sure on the answer, but I think it's inevitable because if they do want to market, if they do want to capture a lot of black men or black people in the US, I think this is definitely one of the best ways to go about opening more branches of KFC in the black neighborhoods. And if they really want to capitalize on it, I think stereotyping would be inevitable at that point.
Okay. So, what problem does marketing solve for an economy?
Hmm. Okay. I think one best ways is I can pull up with example from the US in the 1950s. So that was when people actually realized that smoking was bad. So the government started marketing on that in billboards, in radios, and in the black and white TVs back then. And people then only realized that smoking was actually bad. And the smoking rate at that particular time came down a lot.
Okay. Not a good example. Okay. We'll move on to the next question. What would this interview reveal about you that your CV is not telling us?
I think it definitely would definitely tell me about the person I am. I think that's definitely one of the things that the CV would not tell me.
No, no. The question is reverse. What would your interview reveal to us that is your CV is not telling?
Okay. Hmm. I think I'm not able to answer that
Okay,
question right
no
now.
issues. Last question. Is India under-regulated or over-regulated?
I think India is definitely mid-range in that. I think when you take about example for tax reforms or how strict the tax policies are, I believe they're definitely under-regulated. But when it comes to, let's say, the movie censorship itself, I think it's definitely over-regulated, I'm sorry.
Where are we on the ease of doing business in India? In the world, sorry.
I'm sorry. I,
What is our number on the ease of doing business rank? There's a ranking that every country gets, right?
I'm not very sure on the ranking.
Okay. So we can move on to your feedback part. Navleen, we'll start with the feedback.
So, Ivan, as much as I would like to tell you not to uh, give very long answers, but the fact that you add personalized stories to every answer and concept that we ask you, it gives a good it gives a good rapport to the panelists, especially
But
because it
Evans, I told you,
uh,
wait, one, Navleen, 1 second. Last interview, what was the major thing that I told you that you need to improve upon?
Uh,
That you need to limit your answer to 45 seconds, right? 35 to
yeah,
40
I'm
seconds.
actually
mm,
trying to do that, but then
See,
I'm
for
not.
your
right.
other questions, it was okay. But the questions that you have mugged up, they are
Mm,
still very long. Tell me something about yourself. I'm sure YMB would also be very long. I told you
okay.
to improve this because see, the interviewer will not see you're sitting for an NM interview, not for a Blackie interview that is going to go until 45, 50 minutes.
Mm,
NM interviews typically last for 15 to 20 minutes. So obviously you
okay.
do not have that much time. Even the interviewer panelist does not have that much time.
Mm.
I told you
No,
this
see,
last time also.
honestly, I've been trying to shorten my answers, but then I realize when I
See,
start talking, I go
for the
rambling.
other answers, they are still okay, 35, 45, 50
Mm,
seconds. But the questions that you have mugged up, Try to
Okay.
reduce them somehow. I don't know. You need to work on that part.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
conversation that we had, Ivan, if you're talking about startup culture or anything related to startups in your introduction,
Mm.
know everything about them. I asked you 10 questions regarding the edtech industry, and I don't think you were able to answer any of them.
That's why I told I was working over there, right?
Still,
Okay.
mentioning the word startup will lead to
Mm.
questions. And
Okay,
I told you in
fine.
the very first interview, you lead your interview. The
Okay.
amount
Then
of
I think I'll just
information,
remove the startup part itself if they were supposed to
ha,
give
try
me.
and limit, try and
Mm.
limit it, is what
Okay,
I
sure.
would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the same as Angat sir said, the length should be, time should be limited.
Yeah, I
Please brush
understand.
up on your GK.
Mm.
And वैसे भी, even if you don't say anything regarding startups, but read up on the edtech industry, why
Mm.
Byju's failed, what
Okay.
was, and answer in numbers where you can fit in facts and stats.
Okay.
Give proper reasons, not I knew people in Byju's, there were
Yeah, I
people back
realized
then.
that while speaking.
हाँ,
Yeah.
so give factual answers.
Mm.
ठीक है? Over to you, sir and ma'am.
According to me, your articulation was very well. I mean, I was able to relate to your answers. One suggestion it from my side would be when you answer your questions, just do not show your teeth. It it becomes very informal. You just smile.
Okay.
Smiling is very welcoming, but
Okay.
you don't show your teeth while you're answering the questions. Sometimes the interviewers feel that it's very informal.
Okay.
Rest everything ma'am and sir have covered, and I really like the way you put personal touch when you were answering your questions, and
Mm.
just be short and concise. Do
Mm.
not make very elongated answers
Yeah.
because then the flow breaks.
Yeah, I
That's it.
understand.
Even from my side also, you have done, I mean, you're much better in your marketing side of things. I have do everything related to marketing, which was not very typical to the marketing questions that
Mm.
was expected. You were
Okay.
able to answer most of them. Some examples I did not like.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I
But
do
you could,
that too.
yeah. And read about the EU deal. You need to
Mm.
revise your see. GK is still your very weak portion.
Yeah.
Recent Panche current affairs that are there, you need to read upon
I
them.
was actually supposed to
Budget,
revise my the EU deal and the budget for coming about. I
yes.
thought the interview was 10, so I did not have time to read up on it again. So I'm kind of bad with
Do read
remembering
about,
numbers.
please revise your GK.
Mm. Yeah.
You've done good marketing, revise your marketing questions also. Don't be
Okay.
overconfident. Read them, just
Sure.
have a go through them again so that
Mm.
on your final day you do not have any problems while answering.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The rest again, timing for your, especially for your fixed answer. See, the question that you're supposed to think and answer, na, you
Mm.
automatically answer for 35-40 seconds. You must have seen no one would have asked you, cut you in between.
Yeah, I
Keep
understand.
them precise. Keep your
Yeah, I am
specific.
trying that. I
Yeah.
don't know how to do that, but I'm still trying on that, trying to keep as short as
See,
possible.
when you are introducing
Ivan,
yourself, don't talk about your startups.
Okay.
You can skip it out. You can leave that. You can use that example later on in an interview, right? It's a 20-minute
Mm.
interview. You'll have time, or you can give an example like that.
Yeah,
So
okay, I
start cutting out
understand.
some portions like that so that you can give those examples later on in your
Yeah, I
interview.
understand. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
And Navleen, you were saying
and
something?
Ivan, for example, BC, I asked you about BCG matrix.
Mm.
Yeah. See the full form you could have given, and then we could have straight away talk about cat, cow, etc., etc.
Okay.
See, this is what I mean. You give the full form, then you give the technicality part of it. Don't
Mm.
get into storytelling, please, Ivan.
Okay.
That's why I stopped you. You were correct, but this is what I wanted to show you. Ki if you take so long, the
Mm.
panelists will cut you in, and you lose your
Mm.
points there.
Yeah,
Okay?
I understand. I'm also trying to correct that on my own.
Okay.
But yeah.